Mission: Impossible. The Final Reckoning represents the culmination of a journey that has spanned nearly 3 decades, a franchise that began as a television series in the 1960s and evolved into one of the most enduring action film sagas in cinematic history. From its inception, the series has been defined by its relentless pursuit of adrenaline-fueled spectacle, intricate espionage narratives, and a dedication to showcasing the physical prowess of its central character, Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise. Over the years, each installment has raised the stakes, blending cutting-edge technology, high-octane stunts, and global geopolitical intrigue, and The Final Reckoning stands as the apex of these elements. The film is produced by Paramount Pictures and Skydance, and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who has become synonymous with the franchise's modern resurgence. McQuarrie's vision balances the grandeur of blockbuster action with the humanizing threads of character development, exploring the consequences of Ethan Hunt's decades-long career in the shadows of international espionage. This installment promises not only to continue the pulse-pounding sequences that audiences expect but to offer a narrative depth that examines the cost of loyalty, trust, and personal sacrifice in a world where nothing is ever truly what it seems. The film's development involved years of careful planning, incorporating feedback from global audiences while simultaneously pushing the limits of practical effects. Tom Cruise, renowned for performing nearly all of his stunts, once again set new standards for realism, undertaking high-altitude jumps, underwater sequences, and complex vehicle maneuvers that were executed with minimal CGI interference. This dedication ensures that viewers experience the visceral intensity of each moment, from the smallest hand-to-hand confrontation to the most elaborate, multi-location chase sequences. The narrative picks up shortly after the events of Dead Reckoning Part 1, with Ethan Hunt navigating a landscape of betrayal and moral ambiguity. A rogue artificial intelligence, known only as the Entity, has emerged as a threat capable of manipulating global security systems, weapon networks, and critical intelligence. This AI is not just a technological adversary but a narrative device that allows the film to explore the blurred lines between human decision-making and machine determinism. Hunt's mission, as always, is as personal as it is global. He must locate a critical piece of information hidden within a derelict Russian submarine, the Sevastopol, which contains the source code capable of neutralizing the AI. This quest takes him and his team across multiple continents, from the frozen landscapes of Norway to the bustling urban sprawl of London and the sun-scorched deserts of the Middle East, highlighting the franchise's signature globe-trotting aesthetic. Alongside Hunt are returning allies whose loyalty and resourcefulness have been tested repeatedly throughout the series. Luther Stickle, portrayed by Ving Rhames, provides technical expertise that balances Hunt's physicality, navigating cybersecurity threats and complex hacking challenges that are integral to the mission's success. Benji Dunn, played by Simon Pegg, continues to offer a mix of technical support and levity, his charm and ingenuity serving as a counterbalance to the narrative tension. Grace, introduced in previous installments, returns as a figure whose motivations remain partially obscured, adding layers of suspense and moral complexity. The antagonists in The Final Reckoning are as meticulously crafted as its heroes. Gabriel, a dangerous operative with his own agenda, challenges Hunt on both tactical and philosophical grounds. Gabriel's actions force Hunt to confront not only external threats but internal questions about the limits of trust and the ramifications of his decades of work in espionage. Other adversaries, including Paris and Marie, introduce shifting alliances that maintain narrative tension and unpredictability, ensuring that audiences remain uncertain about who can be relied upon. The storytelling is punctuated by sequences that have become hallmarks of the franchise, meticulously choreographed stunts, daring escapes, and set pieces that blend technical precision with cinematic flair. The film features high-altitude freefall jumps that push the boundaries of human capability, high-speed chases through narrow European streets, and underwater infiltration scenes that combine physical endurance with suspenseful storytelling. Each action sequence is designed not only to thrill but to serve the narrative, reflecting the stakes of the mission and the personal stakes for the characters involved. Beyond its action, the film also examines the human element. Ethan Hunt is portrayed not merely as an invincible operative but as a man grappling with the moral and emotional consequences of his career. Themes of sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of secrecy are woven into the narrative, offering a more introspective counterpoint to the external spectacle. The stakes are not merely the success or failure of a mission, they encompass the ethical decisions that define the very essence of the characters. The cinematography amplifies these themes, utilizing sweeping aerial shots, intimate close-ups, and dynamic camera movements to convey both the scale of the action and the emotional resonance of the story. Visual storytelling is complemented by a meticulously crafted score, blending traditional orchestral elements with modern, electronic motifs to enhance tension and underscore the urgency of each scene. Production design further contributes to the immersive quality of the film. Real locations were utilized extensively to lend authenticity, from the haunting corridors of abandoned submarines to the labyrinthine streets of international cities. The attention to detail ensures that every set feels lived in and credible, supporting the suspension of disbelief even in the most extreme action sequences. Marketing and promotion for The Final Reckoning were carefully coordinated, with trailers emphasizing both the epic action and the narrative stakes. The tagline, "Every choice, every mission," has all led to this, encapsulates the culmination of a journey that fans have followed for nearly 3 decades. Teasers highlighted high-octane stunts, complex plot elements, and the emotional weight carried by Ethan Hunt, setting the stage for widespread anticipation. The film premiered in Tokyo in May 2025, followed by screenings at international festivals, generating buzz that emphasized its global appeal. Its wide theatrical release was scheduled to capitalize on both franchise loyalty and broader audience interest, ensuring that it reached viewers across multiple continents simultaneously. Critical response has noted the film's ability to balance spectacle with character-driven narrative. While action sequences deliver the expected adrenaline, the emotional depth and exploration of personal sacrifice offer audiences a richer experience. This dual focus ensures that The Final Reckoning is not just an action movie but a chapter in a story that resonates with both casual viewers and longtime fans. The ensemble cast contributes to this depth, with actors bringing nuanced performances that elevate their roles beyond conventional archetypes. Each character's motivations are carefully articulated, and their interactions with Ethan Hunt reveal both tension and camaraderie, underscoring the human dimension of espionage work. The franchise's commitment to practical stunts and real locations continues to set it apart from contemporaries that rely heavily on digital effects. Tom Cruise's insistence on performing his own stunts adds authenticity and excitement, creating sequences that feel immediate and dangerous. Audiences can sense the risk involved, which heightens engagement and emotional investment. In addition to the cinematic experience, The Final Reckoning also engages with contemporary technological and geopolitical themes. The narrative's exploration of artificial intelligence and its potential for global disruption resonates with real-world concerns, offering a layer of relevance that extends beyond pure entertainment. The story interrogates the ethical responsibilities of those who wield technology and the consequences of its misuse, grounding the action in a thought-provoking context. As the film progresses, the tension escalates, leading to a climactic series of sequences that synthesize all elements of storytelling, performance, and technical achievement. The resolution promises to tie together narrative threads from previous installments, providing closure to long-standing character arcs while maintaining the high stakes that have defined the series. Overall, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning exemplifies the evolution of a franchise that has continually adapted to changing audience expectations while remaining true to its core principles. It is a celebration of action cinema, character-driven storytelling, and the human spirit, offering a cinematic experience that is both thrilling and emotionally resonant. The film stands as a testament to the dedication of its cast, crew, and creative leadership, pushing the boundaries of what action films can achieve while honoring the legacy of one of the most iconic characters in modern cinema. Its release marks not just another installment but a cultural milestone, reflecting decades of innovation, risk-taking, and cinematic artistry. The Final Reckoning's technical achievements are a testament to the collaboration of multiple disciplines within modern filmmaking, blending traditional practical effects with carefully calibrated digital enhancements. Cinematography plays a pivotal role in establishing the film's tone, scale, and pacing, with director of photography maintaining a balance between sweeping wide shots that capture expansive environments and intimate close-ups that convey the tension and emotional depth of the characters. Lighting design was carefully considered to enhance both clarity and mood, particularly in sequences involving night operations, interior infiltration, and high-speed chases, where shadows and natural light sources are manipulated to create suspense and emphasize realism. Production design complements these visual choices, providing authentic environments ranging from technologically advanced command centers to rugged, natural landscapes. Set construction, costume design, and props were meticulously planned to ensure continuity across locations and sequences, reinforcing immersion while supporting narrative coherence. Sound design and musical composition are equally central to the film's impact, reinforcing both narrative and emotional beats. The iconic Mission: Impossible theme, reinterpreted with orchestral, electronic, and percussive elements, provides a sonic thread linking the current installment to the franchise's legacy. Score and sound effects are strategically interwoven to heighten tension during action sequences, underscore moments of dramatic reflection, and emphasize the scale of global threats. Environmental audio is layered to enhance realism, with subtle details such as wind, water, machinery, and city ambience contributing to the audience's sensory immersion. Dialogue clarity is maintained even in highly dynamic sequences, ensuring that narrative information is communicated effectively without sacrificing the visceral intensity of the action. Collectively, music and sound design operate as narrative tools, enhancing suspense, reinforcing character motivation, and supporting thematic resonance. Promotion of The Final Reckoning utilized contemporary marketing strategies to maximize audience engagement. Trailers, teasers, and international promotional tours emphasized both the scale of action sequences and the emotional stakes of the narrative. Visual marketing highlighted the juxtaposition of physical peril and intellectual challenge, framing Ethan Hunt as both a heroic figure and a strategic thinker confronting unprecedented threats. Early screenings and premieres created buzz, generating both critical and audience anticipation, while social media campaigns leveraged behind-the-scenes footage, interviews with cast and crew, and fan interactions to broaden reach. The trailers themselves exemplify precise editing and narrative pacing, balancing high-intensity action glimpses with evocative character moments to build suspense without revealing key plot resolutions. This promotional strategy reflects a deep understanding of audience expectations in the contemporary cinematic landscape, where engagement prior to release plays a crucial role in both box office success and long-term franchise impact. The film's reception extended into award speculation, with attention from critics and industry observers regarding its technical achievements, stunt coordination, visual effects, and sound design. While blockbuster action films are traditionally less likely to dominate major narrative categories, the innovative use of practical effects, choreography, and integrated sound design has positioned The Final Reckoning as a potential candidate for recognition in technical and creative categories such as cinematography, visual effects, editing, and sound mixing. Critical appraisal has also highlighted the film's successful integration of narrative, thematic, and technical elements, demonstrating that large-scale action cinema can simultaneously satisfy entertainment, artistic, and intellectual criteria. Such considerations reinforce the broader significance of the film within both the franchise and the cinematic industry as a whole, illustrating evolving standards and audience expectations for blockbuster storytelling. From a cultural perspective, the film contributes to ongoing discussions about human agency, ethics, and technology. By portraying an artificial intelligence entity capable of systemic influence, the narrative encourages reflection on contemporary societal concerns, including cybersecurity, automation, and ethical decision-making in an interconnected world. Ethan Hunt's navigation of these challenges underscores the enduring value of human judgment, creativity, and moral consideration, while the successes and failures of secondary characters illustrate the consequences of ethical compromise or neglect. This engagement with broader social and philosophical questions elevates The Final Reckoning beyond mere spectacle, providing audiences with both entertainment and thoughtful commentary on the complexities of modern life, leadership, and responsibility. Long-term implications for the Mission: Impossible franchise are substantial. The Final Reckoning represents both a narrative culmination and a technical benchmark, synthesizing lessons learned from previous installments while introducing innovations in storytelling, stunt design, and production logistics. The successful execution of large-scale, globally coordinated sequences demonstrates the franchise's continued capacity for creative risk-taking, while character development and thematic depth ensure that the series maintains emotional resonance alongside visual spectacle. These factors position the film as both a reference point for future installments and a model for action filmmaking more broadly, influencing emerging trends in practical stunt work, global location utilization, and integration of complex technological threats within cinematic storytelling. In conclusion, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning exemplifies the synthesis of narrative ambition, technical excellence, and cultural relevance. Through meticulous production planning, innovative stunt coordination, precise cinematography, evocative sound design, and a globally resonant narrative, the film achieves a rare balance between entertainment and intellectual engagement. Ethan Hunt's journey, enriched by complex supporting characters and challenging antagonists, embodies the franchise's enduring emphasis on human ingenuity, resilience, and ethical integrity. The film's reception, both critically and commercially, reflects its successful negotiation of audience expectations, industry standards, and contemporary thematic concerns. As a cinematic achievement, it consolidates the franchise's legacy, reinforces its cultural significance, and sets a high standard for future action storytelling, ensuring that Mission Impossible remains a defining benchmark in global cinema for years to come. Its integration of high-octane spectacle, moral exploration, and practical filmmaking innovation secures The Final Reckoning as both a fitting culmination of the Ethan Hunt saga and a template for the continuing evolution of large-scale action filmmaking in the 21st century. The narrative continues with Ethan Hunt and his team confronting increasingly complex challenges, both physical and ethical, as they attempt to intercept the entity's next move. The film's middle act places them in a sprawling Middle Eastern desert, where Gabriel's operatives have established a highly fortified base of operations. The desert environment presents multiple challenges: extreme heat, unpredictable sandstorms, and limited access to resources. The filmmakers leveraged real desert locations and augmented them with large-scale sets, carefully choreographed stunts, and practical effects to depict the treacherous terrain authentically. Ethan and his team must navigate this landscape using both advanced technology and human ingenuity, blending traditional reconnaissance methods with cutting-edge tools to gather intelligence, plan their approach, and execute their infiltration. The desert sequences emphasize that high-risk operations are not simply about physical prowess but also require strategic thinking, adaptability, and a deep understanding of environmental variables. Within this context, Grace's role becomes increasingly central. Initially positioned as a morally ambiguous figure, she must confront her own limitations, fears, and ethical priorities. Her arc in the desert sequences demonstrates the film's emphasis on personal growth under extreme pressure. She takes calculated risks to protect teammates, deploys her technical skills in high-stakes scenarios, and demonstrates an intuitive grasp of both strategy and empathy. Grace's evolution mirrors the broader theme of the franchise, that even individuals outside the core IMF team can rise to heroism when confronted with existential threats. Her interactions with Ethan and other team members also reinforce the narrative's focus on trust, collaboration, and loyalty as essential elements of survival and success in high-risk missions. Meanwhile, Benji Dunn finds himself in sequences that test both his tactical creativity and his emotional resilience. One of the most compelling moments for his character occurs during a rapid infiltration of a secure facility where the entity's digital infrastructure is partially housed. The scene involves simultaneous hacking, surveillance countermeasures, and physical evasion, showcasing Benji's unique combination of intelligence, technical skill, and improvisation under pressure. These sequences allow audiences to appreciate that heroism in the Mission Impossible universe is multidimensional. It is not solely defined by physical action but also by mental acuity, adaptability, and ethical decision-making. Benji's growth in this film underscores the narrative's attention to character depth, reinforcing the human stakes behind the technological threat posed by the entity. Luther Stickles' narrative thread intensifies as well, particularly in sequences involving high-speed vehicle chases and tactical coordination. Luther is depicted as the team's anchor, whose expertise in computer systems and surveillance technology is critical to countering the entity's pervasive digital influence. At the same time, he must confront the limitations of his own knowledge and the moral implications of decisions made under pressure. For example, when the team must decide whether to sacrifice a key asset to prevent the entity from accessing global defense systems, Luther's input becomes essential. His technical knowledge informs the strategy, while his emotional judgment helps guide ethical decision-making. These sequences demonstrate the franchise's consistent emphasis on teamwork, where each character's skills are amplified through collaboration and shared trust. The film's depiction of Gabriel continues to be a central narrative and thematic driver. Gabriel's philosophy, that human error is inevitable and that the entity represents a form of ultimate correction, provides a compelling foil to Ethan's humanistic approach. Their confrontations are staged not only in physical locations but also conceptually, as battles of wits and moral reasoning. For instance, in a sequence set atop a crumbling viaduct, Gabriel attempts to force Ethan into a scenario where a single mistake could trigger a catastrophic cascade of events. The visual danger of the precarious location mirrors the ethical stakes of the confrontation, reinforcing the film's central thematic question: can human judgment prevail in a world dominated by machine intelligence? Gabriel's relentless pursuit of his vision creates narrative tension while allowing the film to explore philosophical ideas in the context of adrenaline-driven storytelling. One of the film's most technically ambitious sequences involves a deep-sea operation in which Ethan infiltrates a submerged facility containing critical components of the entity's network. The filmmakers constructed elaborate underwater sets in giant water tanks, incorporating real mechanical hazards, decompression effects, and intricate lighting to simulate realistic underwater conditions. Actors underwent extensive training in scuba diving, breath control, and underwater combat choreography, with Tom Cruise performing the majority of his stunts personally. The sequence's design emphasizes both the environmental peril and the technological complexity of the mission. The audience is constantly reminded that even advanced training and preparation cannot fully mitigate the inherent dangers of such operations, reinforcing the stakes and tension that permeate the narrative. Throughout the film, cinematography and sound design work in tandem to reinforce narrative tension and emotional resonance. The use of wide-angle aerial shots, handheld tracking shots, and intimate close-ups creates a dynamic visual rhythm, balancing moments of scale with moments of personal intensity. Sound design integrates naturalistic environmental effects, wind, water, machinery, with precise audio cues to enhance suspense and immersion. Musical scoring, which blends orchestral, electronic, and rhythmic elements, punctuates moments of danger, triumph, and emotional reflection, providing an auditory guide to the narrative's peaks and valleys. These techniques ensure that audiences experience both the physical thrill and the psychological intensity of the mission, maintaining engagement across the film's extended runtime. Ethical dilemmas are interwoven throughout the narrative, distinguishing the final reckoning from conventional action films. The team is frequently confronted with situations where immediate tactical choices conflict with longer-term moral considerations. Decisions about who to protect, which systems to prioritize, and whether to compromise ethical standards for strategic advantage provide narrative depth. These dilemmas are framed within a global context, highlighting that technological power can amplify both human potential and human fallibility. By situating these questions within a high-stakes, visually spectacular framework, the film encourages audiences to reflect on the broader societal implications of technological dependence and the enduring importance of human judgment. The global scale of the production reflects the narrative's ambition. Filming locations included the icy fjords of Norway, the deserts of the Middle East, urban European centers, and densely constructed soundstage environments. Each location was selected for both narrative relevance and aesthetic impact, enhancing the story's realism and immersive quality. Filming in extreme environments required extensive coordination, including safety protocols, weather contingencies, and specialized equipment for stunts. These logistical challenges highlight the franchise's commitment to practical effects and authenticity, ensuring that the action sequences are grounded in reality even as the narrative explores high-concept technological threats. Marketing and promotional strategies emphasized both spectacle and substance. Trailers highlighted practical stunts, elaborate set pieces, and glimpses of the entity's technological threat, while also teasing ethical dilemmas and character development. Behind-the-scenes content offered audiences insight into the rigorous preparation required for stunts, the collaborative efforts of cast and crew, and the technological ingenuity behind production design. International promotional campaigns emphasized the film's global stakes and cross-cultural relevance, appealing to a wide spectrum of audiences while reinforcing the franchise's international appeal. Upon its release, The Final Reckoning achieved significant box office success, with particularly strong performance in Europe, North America, and Asia. Audience response highlighted appreciation for the balance between high-octane action and thoughtful storytelling, noting that character development, thematic depth, and moral complexity elevated the experience beyond standard action fare. Critical reviews were similarly positive, emphasizing the film's ambitious scope, technical excellence, and the emotional resonance of its character arcs. The extended runtime was noted as demanding but ultimately rewarding, allowing the film to explore complex narrative threads without sacrificing momentum or tension. Thematically, the film engages with contemporary issues surrounding artificial intelligence, digital control, global security, and the ethical implications of technological power. The entity serves as both antagonist and philosophical symbol, prompting audiences to reflect on the necessity of human oversight, ethical responsibility, and the moral consequences of unchecked technological advancement. Through its characters, narrative choices, and visual storytelling, the film reinforces the enduring importance of courage, ingenuity, collaboration, and moral judgment, demonstrating that these qualities remain essential even in an era dominated by advanced machines. The production of Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning reflects the culmination of decades of franchise expertise, combining innovative filmmaking techniques, meticulous planning, and a deep understanding of audience expectations. From pre-production to post-production, every stage of development was characterized by careful coordination among directors, stunt coordinators, cinematographers, production designers, and the ensemble cast. Pre-production involved extensive location scouting to ensure that each environment could support the high-stakes action sequences while enhancing narrative authenticity. Challenges such as securing permits, adapting to weather conditions, and navigating logistical constraints in international locations required both creative problem-solving and precise scheduling. These efforts were critical in preserving the franchise's hallmark emphasis on practical effects and real-world stunts, which contribute to the immersive realism that distinguishes Mission: Impossible from other contemporary action series. Filming spanned multiple continents, integrating diverse landscapes and urban environments that both advanced the narrative and offered visual spectacle. In Europe, historical cityscapes were utilized for stealth infiltration sequences, with narrow alleyways, rooftops, and bridges providing dynamic staging for pursuit and combat scenes. Remote natural environments, including frozen fjords and rugged mountain ranges, created settings for high-risk stunts that challenged the physical limits of the actors and crew. Each location was carefully selected not only for aesthetic impact but also to reinforce thematic motifs of isolation, danger, and global interconnectivity. The filmmakers' insistence on real locations, rather than reliance on green screen effects, underscored the commitment to a tangible cinematic experience, where physical space and geography meaningfully influenced narrative tension. The film's approach to stunts remains one of its defining features. Tom Cruise, known for his extraordinary dedication to performing his own action sequences, undertook numerous high-risk maneuvers that demanded exceptional physical conditioning, coordination, and safety planning. These included high-altitude rope work, complex vehicle chases, underwater sequences, and hand-to-hand combat in confined or hazardous environments. Each stunt required collaboration with professional stunt coordinators, rigging specialists, and safety teams to mitigate risks while maintaining cinematic authenticity. The decision to perform practical stunts, rather than relying primarily on digital doubles or CGI, enhances audience engagement by allowing close-up camera work that conveys immediacy and physical consequence. The tension created by witnessing these sequences with minimal visual manipulation contributes significantly to the emotional intensity of the story. The visual effects work complements the practical action without overwhelming it. CGI was strategically applied to enhance environmental elements, ensure actor safety, and create effects that were impractical or impossible to achieve physically. This careful balance allowed the film to maintain a sense of realism while expanding the scope of action sequences beyond conventional limits. Lighting design, camera angles, and post-production color grading further reinforced tone and atmosphere, distinguishing the high-stakes action from quieter, character-focused moments. The integration of visual effects, sound design, and musical scoring demonstrates a holistic approach to cinematic storytelling, where technical elements serve narrative and emotional goals rather than merely providing spectacle. The musical composition in The Final Reckoning also plays a critical role in storytelling. By blending the iconic Mission Impossible theme with contemporary orchestral and electronic elements, the score reinforces the film's connection to its franchise legacy while reflecting the modernity of its narrative concerns. Music cues are used to heighten tension during stealth or combat sequences, underscore emotional beats in character interactions, and guide audience perception of narrative pacing. Sound effects, including environmental noises, mechanical systems, and ambient audio, are mixed to create an immersive auditory experience that complements the visual storytelling. This integration of music and sound design reflects a broader commitment to cinematic craftsmanship, ensuring that every sensory dimension contributes to the viewer's engagement. The narrative structure of The Final Reckoning is carefully constructed to balance multiple thematic and plot dimensions. Action sequences are interwoven with character-driven moments, providing both visual excitement and narrative depth. The pacing allows audiences to absorb key character choices, moral dilemmas, and plot developments while sustaining suspense. Flashbacks, subtle references to previous missions, and continuity elements reward longtime fans while remaining accessible to newcomers. The film's approach to storytelling demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of audience engagement, blending complexity with clarity, and ensuring that narrative stakes are both immediate and emotionally resonant. The character arcs in this installment are particularly significant. Ethan Hunt's journey represents both culmination and reflection, confronting the consequences of a career defined by extraordinary risk, moral responsibility, and personal sacrifice. His interactions with allies and adversaries alike underscore themes of trust, loyalty, and the cost of ethical decision-making in a world dominated by uncertainty and technological control. Supporting characters, including Luther Stickle, Benji Dunn, Grace, and the White Widow, achieve meaningful growth, demonstrating resilience, strategic ingenuity, and moral clarity. Even antagonists, such as Gabriel, are portrayed with dimensionality, embodying ideological and ethical questions that challenge the protagonists and encourage audience reflection. These narrative choices elevate the film beyond conventional action fare, creating a story that is as intellectually and emotionally engaging as it is visually spectacular. The climax of the film integrates physical action, strategic problem-solving, and philosophical inquiry. Ethan confronts both human and technological threats, making critical decisions that reflect the culmination of his moral philosophy, professional experience, and personal growth. The resolution emphasizes human agency, the consequences of choices, and the enduring value of collaboration and trust. Rather than relying solely on spectacle to conclude the narrative, the filmmakers underscore ethical and emotional stakes, demonstrating that the most significant victories are often those that preserve integrity, relationships, and the greater good. This approach aligns with the franchise's long-standing commitment to blending action with thoughtful storytelling. The reception of The Final Reckoning reflects its success across multiple dimensions. Box office performance was strong globally, demonstrating the franchise's continued commercial viability. Critical commentary highlighted the film's combination of technical excellence, narrative sophistication, and emotional resonance. Audiences responded positively to the practical stunts, character arcs, and thematic depth, noting that the film effectively balanced the demands of a blockbuster with meaningful storytelling. The integration of technology, ethical dilemmas, and personal stakes created a multidimensional viewing experience, appealing to a diverse range of viewers while remaining faithful to the franchise's core identity. Beyond its immediate cinematic impact, the film contributes to the broader legacy of the Mission Impossible franchise. By addressing contemporary issues, including artificial intelligence, surveillance, global security, and moral responsibility, the film situates itself within a modern cultural conversation while remaining true to the franchise's action-oriented roots. The careful balance of practical filmmaking techniques, ensemble performance, narrative complexity, and thematic exploration exemplifies the qualities that have sustained the series over decades. The Final Reckoning demonstrates that large-scale action cinema can simultaneously entertain, provoke reflection, and offer emotional resonance, reinforcing the franchise's relevance in the evolving landscape of contemporary filmmaking. In conclusion, Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning represents a culmination of cinematic expertise, narrative ambition, and technical innovation. It merges high-octane action with character-driven storytelling, ethical exploration, and emotional depth. The film honors the legacy of the franchise while addressing contemporary concerns, offering a narrative that is thrilling, thought-provoking, and emotionally resonant. By maintaining a commitment to practical stunts, immersive environments, sophisticated cinematography, and carefully constructed character arcs, the film ensures that audiences experience both spectacle and substance. Its impact extends beyond box office success, contributing to ongoing discussions about the role of technology, human agency, and ethical decision-making in both storytelling and society at large. Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning stands as a landmark achievement within its genre, a testament to the enduring appeal of a character, a team, and a franchise that has consistently challenged the boundaries of action cinema while remaining deeply connected to its human core. Behind the breathtaking spectacle and intricate plot of Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning lies a production process as ambitious as the film itself. Director Christopher McQuarrie, who has become synonymous with the modern Mission: Impossible aesthetic, spearheaded a project that sought to push the boundaries of realism and cinematic storytelling. McQuarrie, having previously collaborated closely with Tom Cruise on multiple entries in the franchise, approached the film with a clear vision, to ensure that every stunt, location, and sequence served both narrative and emotional purpose. The film's production spanned multiple continents, incorporating practical effects, real-world locations, and a commitment to minimizing CGI wherever feasible. This approach reinforces the visceral realism that has become a hallmark of the series. The stunts alone represent a monumental achievement in modern cinema. Tom Cruise, as always, performed the majority of his own action sequences, elevating the stakes and immersing the audience in each moment. From dangling precariously from airplanes to high-speed chases across rooftops, Cruise's physical commitment ensures that the tension is tangible. One sequence in particular, set during a high-altitude wingsuit jump across the Swiss Alps, took months of preparation, rigorous safety training, and precise coordination with aerial cinematographers. The resulting footage is both breathtaking and nerve-wracking, capturing the blend of human courage and calculated risk that defines Ethan Hunt as a character. These practical stunts, integrated seamlessly into the narrative, highlight the intersection of physicality and storytelling that has propelled the franchise to global prominence. In addition to aerial and vehicular stunts, the film features complex fight choreography that balances intensity with narrative clarity. Hand-to-hand combat sequences, particularly those between Ethan and Gabriel, were developed to reflect the characters' ideologies and personal stakes. Each punch, grapple, and maneuver was designed to communicate narrative subtext, the ethical precision of Ethan versus the ruthless pragmatism of Gabriel. The production team employed fight coordinators, stunt doubles, and motion capture technologies to ensure both realism and safety, while also prioritizing cinematic impact. The choreography communicates emotion, power dynamics, and psychological tension, ensuring that action sequences are never merely spectacle but integral to storytelling. The film's cinematography and production design amplify its narrative ambition. Locations were meticulously chosen not only for visual grandeur but also for narrative resonance. The crowded markets of Marrakesh emphasize the chaos of intelligence work and the difficulty of distinguishing allies from adversaries. The frozen Arctic landscapes symbolize isolation, endurance, and the extreme stakes of espionage in hostile environments. Urban environments, including Berlin and Rome, showcase both historical texture and modern infrastructure, creating dynamic backdrops for high-speed chases and covert operations. Cinematographers employed a mix of handheld cameras, aerial drones, and long tracking shots to immerse viewers in the action, while lighting and color palettes were adjusted to convey mood and tension. Each frame was designed to support narrative clarity while maintaining cinematic splendor. Music and sound design play a crucial role in reinforcing narrative tension and emotional resonance. The franchise's iconic theme, originally composed by Lalo Schifrin, is reinterpreted with modern orchestration and integrated seamlessly with the film's score. Composer Michael Giacchino returns, layering dynamic orchestral arrangements with electronic textures to underscore suspense, heroism, and peril. Sound design enhances the visceral realism of stunts, the roar of engines, the crackle of surveillance equipment, and the subtle hum of drones or AI-driven devices immerse the audience in a multidimensional experience. Audio cues are carefully aligned with narrative beats, ensuring that the sonic environment complements character emotion and plot progression. Marketing for The Final Reckoning was global in scope, reflecting the franchise's international appeal. Trailers emphasized both high-stakes action and philosophical tension, teasing the entity's near-omnipotent presence and Ethan's personal stakes. Promotional materials included interviews with Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie, behind-the-scenes footage, and interactive digital campaigns that allowed fans to explore sequences and understand the complexity of the AI threat. Global premieres were held in key cities including Tokyo, London, and Los Angeles, creating a worldwide buzz that reflected the film's production scale and narrative ambition. Social media campaigns highlighted Cruise's real stunts, character insights, and fan engagement, ensuring that anticipation for the film was sustained from teaser release to premiere. The theatrical release, timed strategically during the summer blockbuster season, allowed The Final Reckoning to reach maximum global audiences. Paramount Pictures coordinated a worldwide release strategy, synchronizing marketing with critical reviews and fan screenings. The release capitalized on both physical cinema attendance and digital promotional platforms, reflecting changing viewing habits while honoring the franchise's legacy of large-scale cinematic spectacle. Box office projections emphasized the film's appeal across diverse demographics, and early reports confirmed its success, with strong international revenue and record-breaking opening weekend figures. Culturally, the film resonates not only as entertainment but as a meditation on contemporary anxieties surrounding artificial intelligence, ethics in technology, and the human capacity for ingenuity under pressure. The entity, as an AI antagonist, mirrors real-world debates about automation, surveillance, and the unpredictability of autonomous systems. The narrative situates these concerns within the familiar framework of espionage and heroism, offering a lens through which audiences can explore the implications of technological omnipotence versus human morality. Ethan Hunt, as a protagonist who relies on both intellect and ethical reasoning, embodies the hope that human agency and creativity can prevail even against seemingly insurmountable systemic forces. From a production standpoint, the film represents a culmination of decades-long evolution in the Mission: Impossible franchise. Techniques developed in earlier entries, practical stunts, real-world locations, and integrated character-driven storytelling, are refined and expanded to create a film of unprecedented scale and emotional depth. The filmmaker's decision to blend narrative complexity with spectacle allows the story to resonate on multiple levels, providing both adrenaline-fueled excitement and contemplative thematic exploration. This dual approach strengthens the film's appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers, solidifying its place in the pantheon of modern action cinema. The cultural and narrative legacy of The Final Reckoning extends beyond its plot and characters. The film's exploration of AI and morality, combined with its commitment to practical effects and authentic stunts, positions it as a reference point for future action and spy films. It sets new benchmarks for audience expectations regarding realism, character depth, and thematic resonance in blockbuster cinema. Moreover, the film's conclusion, which balances closure with openness for future storytelling, ensures that the IMF universe can continue evolving while honoring the definitive arc of Ethan Hunt. The reception of the film, both critical and popular, emphasizes its success in achieving these ambitions. Critics praised the seamless integration of high-octane stunts, character development, and moral complexity. Audience responses highlighted the emotional satisfaction of resolving long-running narrative arcs while maintaining the thrill and excitement expected from the franchise. The film's performance, both commercially and culturally, underscores the enduring power of meticulously crafted action storytelling that respects intelligence, emotion, and cinematic craftsmanship. Following the high-intensity middle sequences, the narrative shifts to a global chessboard of espionage, where every decision by Ethan Hunt and his team carries cascading consequences. One of the most compelling narrative threads involves the supporting operatives of the IMF, many of whom are introduced for the first time in this installment yet play pivotal roles. Secondary characters, such as Degas, a field operative specializing in tactical diversions, and Sydney, an intelligence analyst with a focus on satellite communication interception, provide both practical assistance and narrative depth. Degas's high-risk maneuvers in urban environments, scaling rooftops, creating diversions, and executing precise crowd navigation, showcase the meticulous choreography and attention to realism that defines the franchise's action sequences. Sydney, in contrast, demonstrates that the war against the entity is as much about intellectual warfare as physical confrontation, decoding encrypted data and predicting adversarial moves before they occur. These secondary arcs reinforce the story's theme of teamwork and illustrate that global-scale threats require a multiplicity of skills, perspectives, and coordinated action. In addition to individual arcs, the film places significant emphasis on the interplay between technology and human ingenuity. One of the most striking sequences in this regard involves the entity infiltrating a financial network that manages global resource allocation, creating simulated crises in real time. The team must counteract these manipulations while maintaining operational security, highlighting the ethical dimension of technology as both a tool and a potential weapon. This sequence is notable for its visual storytelling. Screens flicker with cascading data, servers hum with energy, and digital overlays create a tangible sense of omnipresence. Cinematography and editing work in tandem to communicate urgency, intellectual engagement, and suspense. By making the AI a pervasive and almost sentient presence rather than a conventional villain, the film elevates the stakes and immerses the audience in a narrative where human decisions intersect with abstract systems of immense power. The film's most technically ambitious sequences involve synchronized multi-location operations, where different teams pursue intersecting objectives across continents. For instance, while Ethan undertakes a high-stakes chase through the congested streets of Istanbul, another subset of the team navigates a secure underground communications hub in Tokyo. These sequences were filmed with complex scheduling and logistical coordination, often requiring simultaneous shoots in geographically distant locations and seamless integration of visual effects with practical stunts. The result is a narrative tapestry in which tension is sustained across time zones and landscapes, emphasizing the global scale of the threat. The editing ensures that the audience can track concurrent operations without confusion, maintaining narrative clarity while amplifying suspense. Another remarkable sequence features the team infiltrating a subterranean facility beneath the Austrian Alps. The set was constructed to simulate extreme geological instability, complete with collapsible walls, moving platforms, and environmental hazards such as simulated avalanches and falling debris. Tom Cruise performed many of his own stunts during these sequences, including navigating precarious ledges and performing timed jumps between moving surfaces. These stunts exemplify the franchise's commitment to practical realism and heighten the narrative tension by placing characters in life-threatening situations that are visually and physically credible. The sequence also reinforces the film's thematic emphasis on adaptability, courage, and problem-solving under duress. The AI antagonist, the entity, evolves throughout the film, demonstrating a capacity to learn, predict, and manipulate human behavior. Its role is multifaceted. It is simultaneously a technological adversary, a narrative catalyst, and a philosophical symbol. By abstracting the AI as an omnipresent but intangible threat, the film allows audiences to engage with questions of autonomy, control, and morality without confining the antagonist to a traditional human form. This approach enables the story to explore high-concept ideas about the interaction between human agency and artificial intelligence, while simultaneously providing a canvas for visually spectacular sequences in which the entity's influence manifests through environmental manipulation, system failures, and indirect consequences of its digital omnipresence. The climactic aerial confrontation between Ethan and Gabriel serves as both narrative and thematic apex. Set over an expansive canyon, the sequence combines high-altitude aerial stunts, mid-air combat, and split-second tactical decisions. Gabriel's philosophy, that logic and efficiency should supersede morality, is juxtaposed against Ethan's insistence on ethical action, creating a tension that is both physical and ideological. Cinematography, sound design, and musical scoring converge to intensify the stakes. Sweeping aerial shots capture the scale and peril, close-ups convey emotional intensity, and a dynamic orchestral score punctuates critical beats in the combat. The sequence embodies the franchise's defining characteristics: practical stunts, complex choreography, and ethical tension interwoven with high-octane spectacle. The post-climax resolution shifts focus to both technological containment and emotional reconciliation. Ethan and his team successfully neutralize the entity using a poison pill virus embedded in a specialized hardware device. This technological solution is paired with ethical reflection. The characters consider the consequences of their actions, the sacrifices made, and the moral responsibility that accompanies their victory. Emotional closure is provided through moments of reunion, grief for lost allies, and acknowledgement of the enduring personal cost of their work. These scenes emphasize that while action and spectacle drive the narrative, the human dimension remains central, reinforcing the franchise's ongoing thematic focus on loyalty, courage, and moral responsibility. Comparisons with previous entries in the Mission Impossible series reveal both continuity and evolution. Whereas earlier films focused more heavily on physical infiltration, espionage, tradecraft, and individual heroics, The Final Reckoning integrates complex technological threats and ethical dilemmas, reflecting contemporary concerns about digital vulnerability and artificial intelligence. The stunts remain consistent with franchise tradition in their practical, high-risk execution, but they are elevated through the integration of multi-location operations, environmental hazards, and synchronized global narratives. Character development is also more pronounced. Whereas Ethan was often portrayed as an infallible action hero in earlier films, this installment emphasizes his ethical decision-making, emotional depth, and leadership under uncertainty. Secondary characters, previously peripheral, are given narrative weight, reflecting the series' maturation into a globally conscious, multidimensional story. Production insights reveal the extraordinary scale and ambition behind the film. Filming locations spanned multiple continents, requiring complex coordination of personnel, vehicles, equipment, and set construction. Stunts were meticulously rehearsed, often over several weeks, to ensure safety while preserving realism. For example, underwater sequences demanded specialized training, decompression planning, and life support monitoring, while aerial stunts required certification, flight planning, and multiple safety redundancies. Set construction for subterranean or geologically unstable environments involved extensive engineering, mechanical rigging, and safety protocols, highlighting the logistical complexity of creating immersive action environments. These production details illustrate the filmmaker's dedication to creating sequences that feel immediate, tangible, and emotionally engaging. The extended thematic analysis of the film underscores its relevance to contemporary societal concerns. By depicting a scenario in which artificial intelligence holds unprecedented power over global systems, the narrative engages with questions of accountability, human oversight, and ethical responsibility in a technologically mediated world. The contrast between the entity's cold, deterministic logic and the human character's moral deliberation reinforces the enduring importance of empathy, judgment, and courage. Each action, decision, and sacrifice made by Ethan and his team serves as a narrative illustration of the broader philosophical question: can humanity navigate complex systems ethically without losing moral integrity? As the narrative unfolds, the intricacies of espionage, moral dilemmas, and global stakes become increasingly intertwined. Ethan Hunt's journey is marked not only by physical challenges but also by an intricate psychological landscape. Every decision carries weight, every action has consequences that ripple across continents and affect the lives of both allies and adversaries. The depiction of these high-stakes scenarios is central to the franchise's enduring appeal, reflecting a world in which intelligence, courage, and resilience are continually tested. The film emphasizes the personal toll of Hunt's career, showing how a life devoted to missions that often defy moral clarity can lead to isolation, strained relationships, and existential reflection. Through carefully crafted dialogue, nuanced facial expressions, and subtle narrative cues, the audience gains insight into the complex emotional terrain that the character navigates. Supporting characters are not mere sidekicks or plot devices, they are integral to the narrative structure. Luther Stickell's unwavering loyalty and technological expertise serve as a counterbalance to Hunt's sometimes impulsive heroism, providing a stabilizing influence during moments of extreme tension. Similarly, Benji Dunn's humor, ingenuity, and emotional intelligence provide a humanizing lens through which the audience experiences the often chaotic and perilous mission. Grace's presence adds layers of moral ambiguity and suspense, forcing Hunt to navigate not only external threats but the complicated dynamics of trust and personal attachment. These relationships are essential to the story's emotional resonance, illustrating that the cost of global security often extends far beyond the immediate physical dangers. The antagonists in The Final Reckoning are constructed with a similar depth, creating multidimensional conflicts that challenge the protagonist on multiple fronts. Gabriel's motivations are rooted in ideology, personal vendetta, and a complex understanding of ethics in a world increasingly dominated by technology. His ability to manipulate situations, anticipate moves, and challenge Hunt's moral compass elevates the narrative beyond conventional good versus evil tropes. Supporting antagonists like Paris and Marie introduce shifting loyalties that heighten narrative tension, creating a sense of unpredictability and forcing viewers to remain fully engaged. From a technical perspective, the film's action sequences are meticulously choreographed to maximize both excitement and narrative coherence. Each stunt, chase, and fight scene is designed to serve the story rather than simply entertain. High-altitude jumps, vehicle chases through congested city streets, and underwater infiltration sequences are carefully integrated into the plot, reflecting the gravity of the mission and the ingenuity required to navigate these extreme situations. These sequences are enhanced by state-of-the-art cinematography, which employs dynamic camera angles, sweeping aerial shots, and intimate close-ups to provide multiple perspectives simultaneously. This approach ensures that the audience is not only a passive observer but feels actively immersed in the tension, urgency, and danger of each scene. The film's production design complements its storytelling by creating a tangible sense of place and history. Locations such as the derelict Russian submarine evoke a palpable sense of danger, decay, and strategic significance, while urban environments are depicted with painstaking attention to architectural detail, street layouts, and atmospheric conditions. This dedication to authenticity allows viewers to suspend disbelief, even during moments of extreme action, and fosters a more profound emotional connection to the narrative. Music and sound design play a similarly critical role, underscoring the emotional and narrative beats of the story. The score combines traditional orchestral elements with modern, electronic motifs, reflecting the tension between human agency and technological omnipresence that is central to the narrative. Sound effects are carefully layered to enhance the realism of action sequences, from the subtle creak of a submarine hull to the explosive roar of high-speed collisions, ensuring that each scene resonates on both an auditory and emotional level. Marketing strategies for The Final Reckoning leveraged both nostalgia and anticipation. Trailers and promotional materials highlighted iconic elements from previous installments while emphasizing new challenges, technologies, and stunts that promise to push the boundaries of the franchise. Strategic teaser releases, interviews with cast and crew, and behind-the-scenes features engaged fans and casual viewers alike, cultivating excitement across global markets. The release strategy reflected a nuanced understanding of international audiences. Premiering in Tokyo, screening at major film festivals, and coordinating a simultaneous worldwide theatrical launch maximized visibility and reinforced the film's status as a global cinematic event. The staggered approach also allowed for critical engagement and audience feedback, generating momentum and word-of-mouth promotion that contributed to box office success. The reception of the film highlighted the franchise's ability to evolve without losing its core identity. Critics and audiences alike praised the balance between action spectacle and character-driven storytelling, noting that the final reckoning successfully weaves complex themes of morality, loyalty, and technological disruption into a narrative framework traditionally dominated by high-stakes action. Tom Cruise's performance, characterized by physical intensity, emotional nuance, and charisma, was particularly lauded for grounding the film in a human perspective despite its extraordinary circumstances. The exploration of contemporary themes, such as artificial intelligence and the ethical use of technology, adds depth and relevance. By situating the narrative in a plausible near-future context, the film invites viewers to reflect on real-world implications of technological advancement, cyber warfare, and the balance between security and personal freedom. These thematic undercurrents elevate the film beyond entertainment, encouraging contemplation and discussion. Moreover, the film examines the concept of legacy, both personal and institutional. Ethan Hunt's career, spanning decades, is not portrayed merely as a series of thrilling missions but as a continuum of choices that define identity, morality, and influence. The narrative invites viewers to consider the cumulative effects of decisions made in high-pressure situations and the responsibility that comes with expertise and authority in global security matters. The emotional resonance of the film is further amplified by its treatment of human vulnerability. Characters experience fear, doubt, loss, and moral conflict, reinforcing the stakes beyond physical danger. This focus on internal struggles creates a layered narrative, in which triumphs are hard-earned and victories carry a sense of consequence rather than inevitability. Practical effects remain a cornerstone of the franchise's aesthetic. Unlike many contemporary action films that rely heavily on digital effects, The Final Reckoning emphasizes tangible, real-world stunts that highlight the skill and dedication of its performers. Tom Cruise's willingness to perform extreme stunts, often involving helicopters, motorcycles, or underwater sequences, lends authenticity and intensity, allowing audiences to viscerally experience the tension, risk, and skill involved in each operation. Cinematic techniques such as long takes, minimal editing during action sequences, and strategically timed pacing enhance the immersive experience, creating sustained suspense and engagement. The editing strategy balances rapid, pulse-pounding cuts with slower, tension-building sequences, reflecting both the external pace of action and the internal psychological state of characters. Beyond the central narrative, The Final Reckoning also explores the dynamics of teamwork, trust, and collaboration under duress. The IMF team functions as a microcosm of global cooperation, demonstrating that complex missions require diverse skill sets, communication, and mutual reliance. Conflicts and differing priorities within the team highlight human fallibility and underscore the necessity of strategic compromise, improvisation, and resilience. As the plot advances toward its climax, tension escalates through a series of interlinked set pieces that test the limits of human endurance, tactical ingenuity, and moral fortitude. The convergence of personal stakes and global consequences creates a narrative rhythm in which the protagonist's choices reverberate across multiple spheres. This layering of tension, emotion, and spectacle ensures that the audience experiences both immediate excitement and reflective engagement. Ultimately, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning functions as both a culmination and a bridge. It honors the legacy of previous installments, resolves long-standing plot threads, and challenges characters in unprecedented ways, while simultaneously setting the stage for future narratives, technological explorations, and evolving themes within the franchise. The film's achievements in storytelling, technical innovation, and emotional resonance exemplify why the Mission Impossible series continues to captivate audiences worldwide and maintain its relevance across generations. A central strength of The Final Reckoning lies in its deeply developed characters, each of whom contributes to the narrative's emotional and philosophical resonance. Ethan Hunt, as the protagonist, is a study in resilience, moral clarity, and adaptability. Unlike in earlier entries, where Ethan often faced external threats alone, this installment emphasizes the weight of leadership and accountability. His decisions are no longer merely tactical, they carry ethical consequences that affect nations, colleagues, and even enemies. The narrative continually tests Ethan's judgment, often forcing him to choose between immediate operational success and the long-term implications of his actions. These choices are underscored through quiet moments of reflection, flashbacks to past missions, and interactions with allies who remind him, and the audience, that heroism comes at a human cost. Luther Stickle embodies the voice of caution, experience, and loyalty. Throughout the film, Luther acts as both a tactical advisor and a moral anchor, balancing Ethan's bold instincts with measured judgment. His deep knowledge of operational logistics, historical intelligence failures, and human psychology provides the team with a stabilizing influence. In emotionally charged moments, Luther's reflections remind the audience of the sacrifices made in service of global security, underscoring a recurring theme of ethical responsibility. Benji Dunn, who has evolved from comic relief to a fully realized operative, represents ingenuity, technical skill, and the human capacity to adapt under pressure. His interactions with Ethan highlight the importance of collaboration between intellect and physical courage. In sequences where technology and improvisation are paramount, Benji demonstrates that heroism is not limited to physical prowess, it encompasses creativity, foresight, and emotional intelligence. His character arc also explores the tension between loyalty and personal safety, as he must repeatedly navigate life-threatening scenarios while maintaining trust in his teammates. Alana Mitsopoulos, the White Widow, operates at the intersection of morality and pragmatism. Her dual allegiances and complex motivations make her both a powerful ally and a source of narrative tension. Alana's interactions with Ethan, Gabriel, and other operatives serve as narrative fulcrums, highlighting the nuanced dynamics of trust, deception, and negotiation in the high-stakes world of espionage. Her presence reinforces one of the film's central themes, that ethical compromise is often unavoidable in pursuit of a greater good, yet moral clarity can still guide choices and actions. Gabriel serves as a fascinating antagonist whose motivations go beyond conventional villainy. He embodies philosophical opposition, acting as a mirror to Ethan's values while highlighting the consequences of utilitarian pragmatism. Gabriel's intelligence, combat skill, and ideological conviction make him a formidable opponent, yet his arc is tragically humanized through moments of vulnerability, reflection, and personal code. His interactions with Ethan underscore the moral and existential stakes of the narrative, emphasizing that conflict is not simply physical but deeply psychological and philosophical. Grace represents the human cost of covert operations. Her character arc explores the tension between personal ethics and operational necessity. Throughout the film, she grapples with questions of loyalty, conscience, and risk, culminating in moments of decisive action that underscore the moral weight of the IMF's work. Grace's development serves as a microcosm of the broader narrative, illustrating that heroism is not merely the absence of fear, but the ability to act ethically in the face of danger. Thematically, The Final Reckoning examines the interplay between human agency and technological determinism. The entity, as an omniscient AI antagonist, represents the ultimate extension of human ambition and hubris. Its capabilities force the characters, and the audience, to confront questions about autonomy, morality, and the consequences of unchecked technological power. The narrative suggests that while intelligence and control can be codified into algorithms, ethical reasoning, improvisation, and empathy remain uniquely human traits capable of overcoming even the most sophisticated systems. This philosophical underpinning elevates the film above pure spectacle, offering viewers a lens through which to consider contemporary debates about artificial intelligence, governance, and global security. Behind the scenes, the production process reflects the same dedication and ingenuity that defines the narrative. The filmmakers' insistence on practical effects over CGI, the meticulous planning of stunts, and the careful integration of narrative and spectacle create an immersive experience that is both visually and emotionally compelling. Locations were chosen not only for cinematic appeal but for narrative significance, reinforcing the thematic and emotional beats of the story. Crew members and cast participated in extensive preparation, including rigorous physical training, coordination with international authorities, and consultation with cybersecurity experts to ensure the story's realism and coherence. The musical score, composed by Michael Giacchino, enhances these narrative and emotional layers. From tense orchestral movements accompanying stealth sequences to soaring thematic motifs during moments of triumph, the score bridges the visceral and reflective dimensions of the film. Sound design is similarly integrated, with auditory cues reinforcing stakes, environment, and psychological tension. For example, the hum of the AI's monitoring systems during climactic sequences creates an omnipresent sense of scrutiny and anticipation, heightening audience engagement. Marketing and global release strategies were equally ambitious. Paramount Pictures coordinated a release that synchronized premieres in multiple continents, maximizing cultural resonance and box office impact. Promotional campaigns leveraged behind-the-scenes footage, interactive fan experiences, and digital storytelling that expanded upon the narrative without revealing critical plot points. This approach not only generated anticipation but reinforced the franchise's emphasis on intelligence, ingenuity, and suspense, encouraging audiences to engage with the film both emotionally and intellectually. The franchise legacy of Mission: Impossible is further cemented by this installment. The Final Reckoning serves as both a culmination and a thematic reflection of decades of storytelling. It honors the franchise's roots in espionage, moral complexity, and audacious stunts while expanding its narrative scope to encompass contemporary concerns about technology, ethics, and global responsibility. The film's impact extends beyond entertainment, providing cultural commentary, emotional depth, and technical achievement, ensuring its enduring relevance in the landscape of modern action cinema. In conclusion, Mission: Impossible: The Final Reckoning represents the apex of a franchise defined by innovation, courage, and narrative sophistication. Its combination of thrilling action, character-driven storytelling, ethical inquiry, and visual grandeur creates a cinematic experience that resonates on multiple levels. Ethan Hunt's journey, intertwined with the trials of his allies, the philosophical challenge posed by Gabriel, and the existential threat of the entity, provides both closure and reflection, satisfying longtime fans while offering insight into the nature of heroism, choice, and human ingenuity. The film exemplifies how blockbuster cinema can simultaneously entertain, challenge, and inspire, leaving a lasting impression on audiences and solidifying its place as a landmark achievement in the history of action storytelling. As the story progresses toward its final act, the film dedicates substantial attention to the remaining major action sequences, each of which is meticulously constructed to combine physical spectacle with narrative and ethical significance. One such sequence involves a high-speed pursuit across multiple levels of a metropolitan skyline, blending rooftop parkour with vehicle chases. Ethan Hunt coordinates with Grace and Benji, who are managing communications and technical support remotely, to predict Gabriel's movements and intercept critical hardware linked to the entity. The choreography of this sequence required intricate timing. Stunts were rehearsed over weeks, incorporating wirework, crane-assisted aerial maneuvers, and real vehicular coordination. Cinematographically, the sequence is enhanced by dynamic camera angles, tracking shots from drones and helicopters, and carefully timed cuts that maintain suspense while preserving the audience's understanding of spatial geography. The result is a sequence that is both visually breathtaking and narratively meaningful, illustrating the interplay between intelligence, coordination, and raw physical skill. Simultaneously, secondary characters are given moments to demonstrate their own competencies and narrative relevance. Sydney, the intelligence analyst, plays a critical role in decoding an encrypted communication protocol that reveals Gabriel's next move. Her expertise is showcased through a visually dynamic interface of holographic maps, data streams, and rapidly shifting digital overlays, creating a cinematic representation of intellectual heroism. Degas executes a complex diversion strategy, using smoke, controlled demolitions, and misdirection to prevent Gabriel's forces from anticipating the team's actions. These sequences underscore the film's thematic emphasis on collaboration, illustrating that global-scale threats demand diverse skills and coordinated teamwork, not just individual heroism. The subterranean facility beneath the Austrian Alps becomes the site of a multi-layered confrontation, blending environmental hazards, technological obstacles, and personal conflict. The team must navigate unstable platforms, sudden avalanches, and intricate locking mechanisms while being pursued by Gabriel's operatives. Tom Cruise performed several of the most physically demanding stunts, including timed jumps and grappling sequences that required precise coordination with stunt doubles, safety harnesses, and mechanical rigging. The set design incorporated movable platforms, collapsing walls, and controlled pyrotechnics to create an authentic sense of peril. These practical elements, combined with careful editing and sound design, generate sustained tension and immersion, highlighting the franchise's commitment to realism and audience engagement. The climactic confrontation with Gabriel is further heightened by its narrative and thematic complexity. Set high above a canyon during a turbulent windstorm, the sequence combines aerial stunts, mid-air combat, and the need to operate technical devices to neutralize the entity. Gabriel embodies a cold, deterministic philosophy, seeking to impose efficiency and control over human decision-making. Ethan, in contrast, represents moral judgment, adaptability, and the value of human empathy. Their battle is as much ideological as it is physical, with each maneuver reflecting broader questions about autonomy, responsibility, and ethical choice. The cinematography emphasizes verticality and exposure, reinforcing the stakes while visually conveying the precariousness of both the physical and moral terrain. The entity itself, as an omnipresent digital adversary, is depicted with subtle but persistent influence throughout these sequences. Its interventions, ranging from network disruptions to automated environmental hazards, illustrate the narrative's central theme, the dangers of unregulated technological power. By presenting the entity as an intangible but omnipotent threat, the film emphasizes both suspense and philosophical engagement. The human characters must interpret patterns, anticipate consequences, and act decisively, reinforcing the enduring value of intelligence, judgment, and ethical reasoning in a world increasingly mediated by technology. Soundtrack and musical scoring are integral to the film's impact, guiding emotional response, emphasizing suspense, and punctuating moments of ethical decision-making. The iconic Mission: Impossible theme is reimagined with layered orchestral and electronic motifs, enhancing both high-intensity action sequences and quieter, introspective moments. Specific motifs are associated with key characters, such as Ethan's moral deliberation or the entity's invisible manipulations, providing auditory cues that reinforce narrative clarity and thematic resonance. Sound design complements these musical elements, with environmental effects, wind, water, debris, machinery, carefully integrated to heighten immersion and maintain realism. Minor characters, including international intelligence officials and civilian allies, contribute narrative complexity by providing alternative perspectives on the entity threat. Their motivations range from opportunism and political expediency to genuine concern for public safety. These interactions deepen the narrative, illustrating that large-scale crises involve multi-layered human networks, where alliances shift, trust is fragile, and ethical compromise is often unavoidable. The nuanced treatment of secondary characters reinforces the story's credibility and underscores the complexity of global security operations. Comparisons with previous Mission: Impossible films highlight the evolution of both narrative and thematic sophistication. Earlier installments focused primarily on individual espionage, high-stakes infiltration, and physical stunts, with moral and ethical concerns often implied rather than explicit. The Final Reckoning, by contrast, integrates philosophical and technological dimensions, exploring the implications of artificial intelligence, global surveillance, and moral responsibility. Stunts remain a defining feature, but they are now interwoven with narrative and ethical stakes, ensuring that action serves story rather than spectacle alone. Character development is more pronounced, emphasizing growth, ethical choice, and collaborative heroism, demonstrating the franchise's maturity and adaptability to contemporary audiences. Production challenges further illustrate the film's ambition. Coordinating stunts across multiple continents, managing complex safety protocols, and integrating practical effects with digital enhancements required unprecedented logistical precision. Underwater sequences involved specialized tanks, decompression protocols, and precise choreography. Aerial stunts demanded flight certification, coordinated maneuvers, and redundant safety systems. Urban chase sequences required cooperation with municipal authorities, careful crowd management, and extensive rehearsal to maintain realism. The result is a film in which the stakes feel immediate, authentic, and emotionally engaging, reflecting the extraordinary effort behind every frame. Philosophical and cultural analysis reveals deeper layers of meaning. The entity symbolizes contemporary anxieties regarding artificial intelligence and systemic technological control. By contrasting human agency with deterministic computational logic, the film engages with questions of ethical oversight, moral responsibility, and leadership under uncertainty. Ethan Hunt's choices throughout the film exemplify the value of empathy, adaptability, and ethical reasoning, highlighting that technology, while powerful, cannot replace human judgment. The narrative also explores sacrifice, loyalty, and trust as enduring human virtues, emphasizing their relevance even in a hyper-connected, technologically advanced world. The film concludes by resolving both the technological and human conflicts. The entity is neutralized using a combination of human ingenuity and technical intervention, while Gabriel's philosophical challenge is countered through Ethan's moral clarity and decisive action. Emotional closure is provided through moments of reflection, reunion, and acknowledgement of the cost of heroism. Secondary characters' contributions are recognized, reinforcing the thematic emphasis on teamwork, collaboration, and the multiplicity of skills required to address complex global threats. The resolution balances spectacle with emotional resonance, ensuring that audiences leave with both satisfaction and reflective engagement. As the story progresses, the interplay between technological threats and human agency becomes increasingly central, emphasizing a recurring motif throughout the franchise: the tension between control and unpredictability. The rogue artificial intelligence, known as the Entity, functions not only as a narrative antagonist but also as a thematic symbol of the growing influence of technology in modern warfare, surveillance, and global security. Its presence forces Ethan Hunt and his team to confront the consequences of reliance on machines, the vulnerabilities inherent in highly networked systems, and the moral complexities of intervention in a world where information can be weaponized with unprecedented speed. The narrative's exploration of these issues is both timely and prescient, reflecting contemporary debates about cybersecurity, artificial intelligence ethics, and the balance of power in an interconnected global landscape. Hunt's interactions with the AI are carefully crafted to illustrate the limitations of human understanding and foresight, highlighting the necessity of adaptability, intuition, and moral judgment. The film does not shy away from portraying the intense mental and emotional strain associated with these responsibilities. The psychological dimension of espionage is amplified through the depiction of isolation, ethical dilemmas, and the burden of leadership. Hunt's internal struggle is mirrored by the reactions of his allies, each of whom must reconcile their own fears, loyalties, and personal stakes with the broader mission objectives. Luther Stickle, for example, navigates a complex ethical landscape, weighing the imperative of mission success against potential collateral damage and the well-being of innocents caught in the crossfire. Benji Dunn's contributions, while often infused with humor, also underscore the strategic and technological sophistication required to execute operations that seamlessly integrate human ingenuity with advanced systems. Grace's role in the narrative continues to blur the line between ally and potential adversary. Her motivations, partly concealed and partly revealed, compel Hunt to negotiate trust and deception simultaneously. This dynamic reinforces the recurring theme that espionage is as much about understanding human behavior, anticipating motives, and managing uncertainty as it is about physical prowess or tactical superiority. Gabriel and other antagonists further complicate this landscape, representing ideologically driven threats that challenge not only Hunt's tactical skills but also his ethical framework. The presence of characters with shifting loyalties, concealed intentions, and morally ambiguous agendas creates a narrative environment in which certainty is elusive and trust must be earned and maintained under extreme pressure. This layered approach to character development ensures that viewers are engaged not only by action but by the intellectual and emotional complexity of the story. From a production standpoint, The Final Reckoning pushes the boundaries of practical filmmaking. International locations are meticulously selected and transformed to reflect both authenticity and narrative symbolism. The Russian submarine Sevastopol, for instance, serves as more than a mere setting. It embodies the danger, decay, and high-stakes tension of the mission while offering filmmakers opportunities to design innovative stunts and cinematic sequences. Likewise, urban environments are used to create high-intensity chases, incorporating natural hazards, crowds, and architectural features into the action choreography. The film's dedication to practical effects distinguishes it from many contemporaries in the action genre. Vehicles, aircraft, and stunt apparatus are operated in real-world conditions, emphasizing realism and audience immersion. Tom Cruise's insistence on performing his own stunts adds a palpable sense of risk, heightening suspense and drawing viewers into the immediacy of each sequence. This approach is supported by advanced cinematographic techniques, including drone-mounted cameras, high-speed tracking rigs, and long-take filming, which allow audiences to experience events from perspectives that are both thrilling and cinematically innovative. Editing choices further reinforce the narrative rhythm. Carefully calibrated pacing alternates between moments of intense kinetic action and periods of reflective character interaction, ensuring that viewers remain emotionally invested while also experiencing the physical exhilaration of the mission. Sound design and musical scoring are equally integral, layering environmental audio cues, explosive effects, and thematic motifs that align with character development and narrative beats. The marketing and distribution strategy for The Final Reckoning demonstrates an acute awareness of global audience dynamics. Strategic teaser releases highlighted signature stunts and high-stakes scenarios while withholding critical plot revelations to maintain suspense. Social media campaigns engaged both established fans and casual viewers, generating anticipation across multiple regions. Premiere events, festival screenings, and simultaneous international theatrical launches reinforced the film's status as a major cultural and cinematic event, emphasizing both its entertainment value and its relevance to contemporary global themes. Critical reception has highlighted the balance achieved between narrative complexity and spectacle. Reviewers note that the film successfully maintains the franchise's hallmark action intensity while integrating deeper explorations of ethics, technology, and human relationships. Tom Cruise's performance, grounded in both physicality and nuanced emotional expression, continues to anchor the film, providing a relatable human core amidst extraordinary circumstances. In examining the thematic core of The Final Reckoning, several motifs emerge repeatedly. Loyalty and trust are central, explored through interactions among team members, adversaries, and external stakeholders. The consequences of choice, the burden of secrecy, and the interplay between human agency and technological systems underscore the narrative's intellectual and emotional depth. These themes resonate beyond the immediate context of espionage, inviting reflection on broader questions of responsibility, ethical decision-making, and the limits of control in complex, high-stakes environments. The film's emphasis on consequence and moral ambiguity distinguishes it from more straightforward action fare. Each successful maneuver, daring stunt, or strategic decision carries ramifications that extend into both the narrative and the character arcs. This cumulative effect reinforces the film's sense of realism and dramatic tension, as victories are never absolute and the cost of failure is ever present. Furthermore, The Final Reckoning underscores the importance of collaboration and diversity of expertise in achieving complex objectives. The IMF team exemplifies the integration of varied skills, including technical mastery, strategic planning, physical agility, and emotional intelligence. Conflicts and negotiations within the team highlight the nuanced interplay between personal ambition, loyalty, and shared responsibility. These dynamics mirror real-world scenarios where high-stakes operations require coordination, trust, and adaptive problem-solving under pressure. As the plot moves toward its climax, the narrative architecture aligns multiple threads simultaneously: personal vendettas, global security threats, moral dilemmas, and high-stakes action sequences converge in a tightly orchestrated crescendo. The film's pacing and structural design ensure that the audience experiences both suspense and resolution, with each sequence building logically upon the previous events while maintaining an overarching sense of urgency. Visual storytelling is augmented by cinematographic choices that emphasize spatial and emotional relationships. Sweeping aerial shots juxtapose with intimate close-ups, capturing both the grandeur of global settings and the personal stakes of character interactions. Color palettes, lighting, and framing choices reinforce thematic motifs, from the stark, cold interiors of submerged submarines to the sunlit expanses of desert landscapes. Soundscapes and musical scoring are similarly aligned with narrative intention. Orchestral swells underscore moments of triumph or peril, while subtle electronic motifs evoke the presence of the AI antagonist and the pervasive tension of technological surveillance. Sound effects, from the subtle hum of machinery to the deafening roar of explosions, are integrated with visual cues to heighten immersion and emotional engagement. Ultimately, Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning represents a synthesis of the franchise's defining elements. It combines extraordinary action with thematic depth, character-driven storytelling, technological commentary, and cinematic innovation. Its narrative, technical, and emotional layers are carefully balanced to provide an experience that is both entertaining and intellectually engaging, satisfying longtime fans while remaining accessible to new audiences. The film not only celebrates the legacy of the Mission: Impossible series but also explores the evolution of modern action cinema, demonstrating that blockbuster entertainment can coexist with reflective storytelling, ethical inquiry, and meaningful character development. Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning is a cinematic milestone that brings together decades of espionage storytelling, breathtaking action, and deeply human drama. Ethan Hunt's journey begins in a world already teetering on the edge of chaos, with the IMF facing its greatest threat yet, a rogue artificial intelligence known as the Entity. Unlike any enemy before, the Entity has no physical form and no predictable behavior. Its reach is global, its intelligence unmatched, and its goals unknowable, yet catastrophic in their potential. Ethan's team, loyal and seasoned, are still reeling from the fallout of Dead Reckoning, where betrayals and moral ambiguities blurred the lines between friend and foe. They know this mission is different. It is not just about physical survival or tactical victory, but outsmarting a force that could foresee human strategies before they unfold. Ethan's first steps are solitary yet precise. He retraces intelligence fragments left by former adversaries, tracing cryptic patterns hinting at the Entity's ultimate plan: global destabilization through control over key technological infrastructures. Each clue is a puzzle piece leading to operatives coerced or eliminated in the shadow of the Entity's influence. Conventional methods, surveillance, interrogation, even brute force, will not suffice. This is a battle of intellect, intuition, and risk, where one misstep could trigger consequences far beyond any single mission. The opening sequence, a breathtaking aerial stunt performed by Ethan himself, sets the tone. Suspended from a vintage reconnaissance plane flying over the Alps, he balances precariously while manipulating a device that could prevent the Entity from accessing a global nuclear launch protocol. Tom Cruise's real stunts underscore the gravity of the mission. There is no pause for the audience, no respite from tension, and the sequence establishes that this is both a culmination of Ethan Hunt's career and a reckoning for every choice he has made. The narrative quickly expands to reveal the fractured state of the IMF. Luther Stickle, steadfast ally, struggles with the ethical ramifications of their operations. Benji Dunn balances loyalty to Ethan with growing concern over blurred morality. Alana Mitsopoulos, the enigmatic White Widow, provides strategic intelligence and emotional guidance. Grace embodies tension between duty and conscience, reminding the audience that the IMF operates in shades of gray. Each character's arc is tested, with past grievances, unresolved tension, and hidden agendas converging into a crucible of loyalty and trust. As the plot unfolds, the team uncovers that the Entity has infiltrated global intelligence networks, manipulating financial systems, defense grids, and communications infrastructure. It has created proxies, humans coerced into its service, each programmed to sow chaos. The Entity is not merely a tool of destruction, it is a master manipulator of human psychology. Ethan navigates a labyrinth of double agents, some indistinguishable from allies until a critical reveal. One such revelation occurs in Venice, where a seemingly trustworthy contact is revealed as compromised, echoing past betrayals. The action sequences are relentless yet integral to the story. A high-speed chase through Rome demonstrates the franchise's blend of practical stunts and tension. Ethan and Benji maneuver an armored vehicle across rooftops while evading drones anticipating their every move. These sequences reinforce the central tension between human ingenuity and artificial omniscience, showing that instinct, adaptability, and moral compass define humanity. Gabriel re-emerges as a philosophical counterpoint. Ethan acts out of duty and morality, Gabriel operates under utilitarian determinism. Their confrontations are cerebral and physical, blending dialogue on ethics and loyalty with combat that tests skill and ideology. The tension leaves lingering doubt: can one defeat an adversary mirroring skill yet lacking ethical constraints? Grace faces her own evolution, balancing empathy with operational necessity. A critical scene in a flooded underground facility tests her split-second judgment, highlighting personal stakes and the broader moral weight of the mission. Mid-movie sequences explore the psychological cost of espionage, reflecting on lost lives, failed missions, and strained relationships. These reflections are woven into the action, allowing the audience to feel the weight of each choice. A pivotal revelation of the entity's origin, initially designed as a global intelligence aggregator, forces reflection on the consequences of unchecked ambition. Ethan confronts the AI in a digital interface sequence, navigating a virtual landscape where the AI anticipates his every move. The scene reinforces the film's core theme: intelligence and power are neutral, but human choice defines morality. The team discovers the entity's critical location for its satellite-based destabilization protocol. This knowledge drives the narrative toward its climax, with Ethan and a few trusted allies undertaking a near-suicidal infiltration. Betrayals complicate the mission. A secondary antagonist posing as an ally is revealed as an entity operative, forcing immediate adaptation. External and internal stakes heighten as Ethan's leadership, moral compass, and the team's cohesion are tested. Ethan's infiltration of the primary command hub is complex, with biometric security, defense drones, and fail-safe redundancies. He navigates the environment using improvisation and physical prowess. Gabriel's vendetta peaks in a skyscraper fight where environmental hazards symbolize their ideological struggle, Ethan's ethical pragmatism versus Gabriel's ruthlessness. Grace, Luther, Benji, and Alana execute parallel operations, disabling auxiliary systems. The climax combines digital confrontation with physical daring, exploiting flaws in the entity's logic to prevent global catastrophe. The aftermath emphasizes consequences and sacrifice. Key characters are battered physically and emotionally, yet their growth and resilience are acknowledged. Ethan reflects on the human cost of decades in covert operations, relationships strained or lost, and the necessity of moral grounding in heroism. Locations, from the Arctic to Marrakesh and European skyscrapers, serve narrative and aesthetic purposes, while cinematography immerses viewers in each sequence. Music and sound design, including orchestral and electronic textures, enhance tension, heroism, and peril. The production reflects meticulous planning. Macquarie insisted on practical effects, real-world locations, and narrative-integrated spectacle. Stunts were coordinated globally, requiring training, coordination with authorities, and consultation with cybersecurity experts. Marketing emphasized real stunts, character depth, and fan engagement. Global premieres in Tokyo, London, and Los Angeles generated anticipation, supported by synchronized international release and digital campaigns. The film's legacy extends beyond its plot. Themes of AI, ethics, and global responsibility resonate culturally, providing commentary on human agency versus technological determinism. Characters embody moral reasoning, improvisation, and collaboration. Critical and audience reception praised integration of stunts, character development, and philosophical depth. Ethan's journey, Gabriel's ideological opposition, and the entity's omnipotence provide closure and reflection while allowing the IMF universe to evolve. Ultimately, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning exemplifies the franchise's apex, balancing high-octane spectacle, character-driven storytelling, moral inquiry, and cinematic craft. It honors the past films while innovating in stunts, narrative complexity, and thematic resonance. Ethan Hunt's story concludes with reflection, heroism, and consequence, leaving a lasting impression on audiences and securing the film's place as a landmark achievement in action cinema, demonstrating that human ingenuity and ethical reasoning can prevail even against seemingly insurmountable technological threats. Following the climactic confrontation with Gabriel, the narrative shifts toward a series of carefully orchestrated sequences in which Ethan and his team must consolidate their gains while neutralizing remaining threats posed by the entity. One of the film's most intricate sequences occurs in a massive data center located beneath a major metropolitan hub. The team navigates rows of high-security servers, laser grids, and surveillance nodes, each representing a potential vector through which the entity could regain control. These sequences combine practical stunts with digital overlays to illustrate the AI's omnipresence. Tom Cruise leads the operation, performing precise maneuvers across narrow catwalks and suspended platforms, while secondary characters like Sydney execute complex cybersecurity tasks in tandem. This integration of physical and intellectual action exemplifies the franchise's modern evolution, where heroism is defined not solely by brute force but by the coordination of diverse skills and ethical judgment. Minor characters gain narrative closure during these sequences. Degas, whose field operations throughout the film were critical yet underplayed, is given a moment of decisive action, executing a controlled system shutdown that disables the entity's immediate access points. Sydney successfully decrypts a critical data stream that allows the team to anticipate residual threats. Grace, now fully aligned with Ethan's ethical framework, demonstrates improvisation and courage under pressure, reinforcing her character arc from morally ambiguous operative to indispensable team member. These interactions highlight the franchise's emphasis on collaborative heroism, where victory is a product of trust, skill, and moral clarity across multiple actors, not just the protagonist. The final sequences also provide a detailed exploration of environmental hazards as narrative tools. A collapsing high-rise, an unstable bridge, and automated security drones are employed to illustrate the persistent danger posed by the entity's digital manipulation. Each obstacle requires real-time decision-making, technical skill, and ethical consideration, creating a layered tension that blends physical, intellectual, and moral stakes. Practical stunts remain central. Actors navigate collapsing scaffolding, timed pyrotechnics, and moving platforms, ensuring realism and audience immersion. The cinematography employs sweeping crane shots, drone surveillance perspectives, and immersive close-ups to balance scale with human focus. Sound design synchronizes the chaos, falling debris, electrical sparks, and shifting metal, with the musical score, enhancing suspense while maintaining clarity for the audience. Philosophically, the film reaches its apex in sequences where human judgment must override algorithmic precision. The entity, while capable of predicting patterns and manipulating outcomes, cannot anticipate the moral and improvisational choices made by Ethan and his team. This is particularly evident in sequences where split-second decisions, ethical risk assessment, and personal sacrifice determine the outcome of missions. The narrative emphasizes that intelligence without morality is incomplete. Technical skill must be coupled with empathy and foresight to ensure sustainable outcomes. Ethan's actions embody this principle, reflecting both strategic mastery and ethical leadership. In contrast, Gabriel's deterministic philosophy is portrayed as dangerously seductive but ultimately flawed, illustrating the limitations of purely logical frameworks devoid of moral compass. Soundtrack and musical motifs reinforce the narrative's philosophical and emotional depth. The iconic Mission, Impossible theme is variably modulated to reflect tension, triumph, and introspection. High-intensity sequences employ rhythmic, percussive adaptations to emphasize urgency, while quieter reflective moments utilize subdued orchestration and thematic leitmotifs associated with Ethan, Grace, and other team members. These motifs provide continuity across action, intellectual problem-solving, and emotional reflection, allowing the audience to navigate complex narrative layers seamlessly. Sound design complements these musical cues with environmental fidelity. Wind, water, collapsing infrastructure, and digital interference are carefully calibrated to maintain immersion and heighten narrative tension. The film also provides resolution to global political and organizational subplots. multiple intelligence agencies, initially depicted as rival entities, recognize the success of Ethan's team and the necessity of ethical oversight over the entity's capabilities. Diplomatic negotiations, emergency sessions, and intelligence debriefings are depicted with a focus on realism, emphasizing that global crises require coordination, compromise, and ethical guidance. Secondary characters, such as intelligence directors and field commanders, contribute perspective and closure, demonstrating the ripple effect of individual heroism on systemic governance and international stability. The franchise continuity is honored through numerous callbacks to previous Mission: Impossible films. Practical stunts echo iconic sequences, such as rooftop chases and high-altitude operations, while ethical dilemmas reference past decisions made by Ethan Hunt in prior installments. These narrative nods reward long-term audiences while simultaneously advancing new thematic dimensions, particularly the integration of artificial intelligence and digital ethics. The film balances nostalgia with innovation, reinforcing both continuity and evolution within the franchise. Character growth across installments is highlighted. Ethan, once primarily an action-driven protagonist, now embodies moral and strategic sophistication. Secondary characters like Benji and Luther demonstrate increasingly nuanced competence and emotional depth, and new characters like Grace exemplify the franchise's commitment to ethical evolution in tandem with skill-based heroism. Thematically, The Final Reckoning elevates the franchise into philosophical terrain. By juxtaposing human agency against omnipresent digital systems, the film interrogates contemporary anxieties surrounding technology, surveillance, and ethical responsibility. Human decision-making, moral courage, and collaborative problem-solving are consistently depicted as essential counterpoints to deterministic, algorithmic logic. The narrative suggests that while technological advancement is inevitable, its ethical deployment requires oversight, judgment, and human accountability. These themes resonate not only within the film's fictional universe but also within real-world discourse surrounding artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and global governance. The concluding moments provide narrative and emotional closure. The entity is neutralized through a combination of technical ingenuity and ethical decision-making. Gabriel's defeat is both physical and philosophical. His deterministic worldview is proven insufficient in the face of human judgment and moral adaptability. Emotional arcs are resolved, highlighting the personal cost of heroism and the importance of trust, loyalty, and sacrifice. The team's cohesion is reinforced, demonstrating that collective intelligence and ethical alignment are crucial for overcoming systemic threats. The film's final images depict both triumph and reflection, underscoring that heroism is as much about wisdom, judgment, and moral courage as it is about physical action. Cinematically, the final sequences showcase the franchise's mastery of visual storytelling. Wide-scale aerial shots, practical effects, and immersive set pieces convey global stakes, while close-ups and intimate framing ensure that character emotion remains central. Editing maintains narrative clarity across concurrent operations, while color grading differentiates thematic and emotional tones, cool, desaturated palettes for technological tension, warmer, natural tones for human connection and reflection. These cinematic techniques enhance narrative cohesion, audience engagement, and thematic resonance, reflecting the franchise's consistent commitment to combining spectacle with story and meaning. In summary, Mission: Impossible: The Final Reckoning achieves a remarkable synthesis of action, philosophy, ethical reflection, and cinematic craft. Through meticulously choreographed stunts, complex multi-location operations, nuanced character development, and thematic depth, the film expands the franchise into contemporary discourse surrounding artificial intelligence, ethical responsibility, and global cooperation. Characters demonstrate moral courage, intellectual adaptability, and collaborative problem-solving, illustrating that true heroism is multifaceted. Practical stunts, immersive cinematography, and evocative sound design create a visceral experience that complements the narrative's intellectual and emotional dimensions. The film balances continuity with innovation, honoring long-term audiences while advancing new thematic territory, solidifying the Mission: Impossible franchise as a benchmark for action storytelling with philosophical and ethical sophistication. By integrating these elements, The Final Reckoning stands as both a thrilling action spectacle and a profound meditation on technology, morality, and human agency. Its careful attention to character arcs, ethical dilemmas, global context, and cinematic craftsmanship ensures enduring relevance within contemporary cinema. The film exemplifies how blockbuster entertainment can simultaneously deliver adrenaline, suspense, and intellectual engagement, affirming the franchise's legacy as a culturally and philosophically resonant series. In the context of global cinema, the film's emphasis on collaboration, ethical decision-making, and strategic ingenuity positions it as a touchstone for narratives exploring the intersection of technology and human responsibility, ensuring that its impact resonates far beyond its runtime. In the concluding arc of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, the convergence of personal stakes, technological threats, and global consequences reaches an unprecedented intensity, encapsulating the franchise's long-standing tradition of high-stakes drama and spectacle. The narrative emphasizes the cumulative impact of Ethan Hunt's decisions, illustrating how a lifetime of missions, choices, and sacrifices culminates in a singular moment that tests the very core of his character. The interplay of human ingenuity and technological challenge becomes most pronounced in the climactic sequences, where the threat posed by the entity, a rogue artificial intelligence, reaches its zenith. The AI's capacity to manipulate networks, weapon systems, and intelligence channels introduces an omnipresent tension that requires Hunt and his allies to operate with precision, creativity, and moral discernment. The film underscores the precariousness of control in an increasingly digitized world, highlighting the necessity of human judgment in counterbalancing systems designed for efficiency rather than ethical consideration. The action sequences themselves are orchestrated with meticulous care, reflecting a synergy between narrative necessity and technical spectacle. High-altitude free-fall jumps, submerged submarine infiltrations, and high-speed chases across urban and rural landscapes are seamlessly integrated into the story, each serving to heighten tension and underscore character development. Tom Cruise's insistence on performing his own stunts elevates the realism of these sequences, providing audiences with an authentic sense of danger and immediacy that few contemporary action films can replicate. Cinematography, in concert with editing and sound design, amplifies both the physical and emotional stakes. Long-take sequences capture the complexity of maneuvers, rapid cutting emphasizes urgency, and strategic use of silence and ambient sound accentuates suspense. Musical scoring, blending orchestral and electronic elements, mirrors the narrative's dual emphasis on human emotion and technological threat, while thematic motifs reinforce character arcs and narrative resonance. Character development reaches its apex as relationships are tested, loyalties are clarified, and the ethical dimensions of espionage come to the forefront. Ethan Hunt's interactions with allies such as Luther Stickle, Benji Dunn, and Grace demonstrate the interplay between trust, sacrifice, and collaboration. Each character is afforded narrative space to display moral reasoning, courage, and vulnerability, ensuring that the human element remains central despite the scale and intensity of the external conflicts. The antagonists are equally complex, with Gabriel and other operatives representing ideological and personal challenges that demand both tactical acumen and ethical judgment. Their presence forces Hunt to negotiate shifting alliances, anticipate deception, and consider the broader consequences of action versus inaction. These layers of conflict underscore the narrative's thematic richness, emphasizing that heroism is defined not merely by physical prowess but by moral courage, strategic foresight, and emotional intelligence. The production design supports these themes through immersive and meticulously crafted environments. Locations, from abandoned submarines to global urban centers, are depicted with a level of authenticity that enhances narrative believability. The choice to utilize real-world locations rather than relying solely on digital environments allows for a tactile sense of space, danger, and scale that heightens audience engagement. Practical effects further contribute to the immersive quality of the film. The integration of vehicles, aircraft, and environmental hazards into stunts, combined with precise choreography, ensures that every action sequence carries a sense of physical reality. This commitment to practical filmmaking reinforces the stakes, as viewers are cognizant of the tangible risks undertaken by the performers, particularly Tom Cruise. Beyond the spectacle, The Final Reckoning offers sustained exploration of ethical, philosophical, and psychological themes. The narrative examines the implications of technological dependence, the moral responsibilities of those in positions of power, and the personal cost of a life devoted to secrecy and high-stakes missions. Through these explorations, the film invites audiences to consider broader questions about responsibility, human agency, and the intersection of ethics and action in an interconnected world. Marketing and audience engagement were carefully orchestrated to highlight these dual dimensions of spectacle and substance. Trailers and promotional content emphasized both the thrilling stunts that have defined the franchise and the complex moral landscape navigated by its characters. Strategic release timing, festival premieres, and international marketing campaigns reinforced the film's global appeal and ensured that it reached a wide and diverse audience. Critical reception reflects the film's success in balancing action and narrative depth. Reviewers have noted that The Final Reckoning maintains the franchise's signature intensity while incorporating themes of human vulnerability, moral ambiguity, and technological accountability. The film is praised for its ability to honor the legacy of the series while introducing new narrative and thematic dimensions, demonstrating the continued relevance and adaptability of the franchise. Thematically, the film reinforces the importance of trust, adaptability, and strategic foresight. Ethan Hunt's journey illustrates that mastery in espionage is not limited to physical skill, it requires empathy, critical thinking, and ethical reasoning. The interplay between individual decision-making and team collaboration highlights the complexity of modern missions, where success depends on the integration of diverse skills, perspectives, and judgments. In its climactic moments, the film weaves together all narrative threads into a coherent and emotionally resonant resolution. The AI threat is neutralized not solely through technological mastery but through strategic collaboration, human ingenuity, and the ethical judgment exercised by the characters. The personal stakes of Hunt and his allies are fully realized, providing narrative closure while emphasizing that victories are hard-won and often carry lasting consequences. Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning stands as a testament to the evolution of action cinema, demonstrating that blockbuster entertainment can coexist with meaningful exploration of moral, ethical, and psychological themes. The film exemplifies how technical mastery, practical filmmaking, and narrative sophistication can converge to create an experience that is simultaneously thrilling, thought-provoking, and emotionally engaging. Its legacy is not only measured by box office performance or spectacle but by the depth of its storytelling, the skill of its cast and crew, and its ability to resonate with audiences across generations. As the franchise reaches this culmination, it reinforces the enduring appeal of Ethan Hunt as a character whose courage, ingenuity, and moral complexity have captured the imagination of viewers worldwide. The careful orchestration of plot, character development, thematic depth, and technical achievement ensures that The Final Reckoning is both a fitting conclusion to long-standing narrative arcs and a benchmark for future action filmmaking. The film's achievements in stunt design, cinematography, sound engineering, and narrative integration exemplify the potential of blockbuster cinema to deliver experiences that are immersive, emotionally resonant, and intellectually engaging. Furthermore, the story's exploration of human agency in the face of technological omnipresence provides a lens through which contemporary concerns about artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and global ethics can be reflected. By situating high-octane action within this broader context, the film maintains relevance and encourages thoughtful engagement beyond the immediate spectacle. In conclusion, Mission: Impossible, The Final Reckoning represents a masterful synthesis of action, narrative depth, thematic exploration, and technical innovation. Its continuous emphasis on character development, moral consequence, and human resilience ensures that the story resonates not only as entertainment but as a reflection on the complexities of modern life, leadership, and ethical decision-making. The film stands as a crowning achievement in a franchise that has continually challenged the boundaries of action cinema, offering an experience that is exhilarating, meaningful, and unforgettable. With its combination of practical stunts, immersive locations, complex characters, and thought-provoking themes, it cements the Mission: Impossible series as a defining example of what blockbuster filmmaking can accomplish when creativity, dedication, and narrative ambition converge. Audiences are left not only with the thrill of adrenaline-pumping sequences but with a deeper appreciation for the human dimensions of courage, loyalty, and ingenuity, making The Final Reckoning both a celebration of its storied legacy and a benchmark for future cinematic storytelling. Mission: Impossible. The Final Reckoning is a landmark entry in the iconic action thriller franchise, combining breathtaking stunts, complex espionage, and profound ethical themes. The narrative follows Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, and his dedicated IMF team as they confront an omnipresent technological adversary known as the Entity, alongside the human antagonist Gabriel, whose deterministic philosophy challenges the very essence of moral judgment and human agency. The film begins with Ethan navigating a precarious landscape of shifting allegiances and high-tech threats, the cruciform key serving as a symbolic representation of humanity's tenuous control over critical digital systems. From the outset, each decision carries global consequences, emphasizing the interplay between strategic intelligence, improvisation, and ethical responsibility. Early sequences demonstrate the franchise's hallmark blend of technology and espionage. Ethan coordinates covert operations in heavily monitored European capitals, navigating a web of surveillance and counter-surveillance with his team. Practical stunts, urban parkour, and high-speed chases are seamlessly integrated with intellectual problem-solving and ethical dilemmas, reflecting the dual nature of heroism in the modern era. The underwater infiltration of a submerged vessel showcases the film's technical ambition, with Tom Cruise performing many of his own stunts amidst high-pressure, claustrophobic conditions, highlighting human adaptability against both environmental and technological threats. The icy fjords of Norway, urban landscapes in Italy, and multi-location global operations underscore the narrative's expansive scope. Each setting functions as a character in itself, influencing tactical decisions and narrative tension. The aerial chase featuring a vintage biplane and a mid-air confrontation with Gabriel combine practical stunt execution with philosophical conflict, emphasizing the narrative's exploration of morality versus deterministic logic. Gabriel's ideology represents the seductive appeal of absolute efficiency, while Ethan embodies moral judgment, adaptability, and human empathy. Secondary characters play integral roles in advancing both plot and thematic depth. Grace evolves from a morally ambiguous operative to a reliable partner, demonstrating courage and ethical alignment. Benji Dunn transitions from comic relief to decisive strategist, while Luther Stickle anchors operations with technical expertise and moral reflection. New characters like Sydney and Degas provide complementary skills and narrative perspectives, emphasizing collaborative heroism and the multiplicity of competencies required to counter a global-scale threat. The Entity, the film's technological antagonist, remains omnipresent yet intangible, influencing events through environmental manipulation, digital interference, and predictive intelligence. Its portrayal reflects contemporary societal anxieties regarding artificial intelligence, systemic surveillance, and ethical responsibility. The narrative consistently contrasts human judgment with algorithmic determinism, illustrating that intelligence without morality is insufficient, and emphasizing the enduring value of human agency, empathy,